When one of India's most recognized and respected voice speaks up and shares her personal battle with COVID-19, we need to sit back and listen to that voice and words of sound advice. Over to you, Rini Simon Khanna, former news reader, a voice artist, media person, and an anchor par excellence.
Hi, my 11 days with COVID. It's a sneaky bug, and it catches you completely unaware. You could be wearing masks and taking all the precautions, and nevertheless you would get infected. Now that you are infected, you need to keep your wits about you. Sadly, something that no one knows, how it happens, how it interacts with your body, everybody has a different experience with COVID. And recovering from COVID is not a cakewalk. So you need to take this seriously. You need to start looking after yourself. And when you're locked away from your loved ones, away from people who you could talk to and share your experience, it becomes doubly important that you take responsibility and you do listen to your doctor's advice and you follow his advice very, very carefully. For someone like me who likes to be in control, I think it was a very difficult phase. The first 5 days, I was told, were the most critical ones, and the ones when you could be at your most vulnerable and at your lowest and your weakest, because that is when you're actually fighting the virus. And looking after yourself when you are at your weakest and your lowest is very, very difficult. Sometimes you would just stare at food and wonder why you're going to eat this. And sometimes, like in my case, I lost my sense of smell and taste. And so there was nothing that was encouraging enough for me to eat. Yet I had to eat because I have to sustain myself and I have to provide for the cells in my body to be able to fight this and fight back well. By the 5th day, I knew that my body had gone through a huge rigour and was giving it back as good as it was getting. So constant communication with my doctor, with my loved ones. I have to give them credit because it was my son and my husband who were looking after me, cooking for me, making sure that I have my meals on time, making sure that I had coconut water, all my medicines, making sure that there was fruit. Even if I'm not a person who would eat any of those, but I still forced myself because they were making the effort to provide it for me, and I did not want to disappoint them. I was eating well, I was resting, I was ensuring that I would wake up in the morning and I would bathe and I would follow a routine, clean my room, clean my bed, ensure that everything was in its place, and following that discipline for all the days that I was in isolation. And I was in isolation for 11 days. It was only on the 11th day that my doctor permitted me to step outside my room but remain indoors. The reason why I want to just pass on this message is because I have lost a lot of friends, lost dear ones because they couldn't find a bed in a hospital, because they were not being looked after. There was nobody to interpret their reports to them, to make them understand how important it was for us to eat a little, even if you did not have the appetite, even if you did not have taste or smell, that you had to sustain yourself, and you had to do that, very, very systematically, and ensure that you were following a protocol which is being, advised to you. This is bigger than all of us. This is something that the world has no answers for. We are still experimenting. We don't know what is the way forward. My only sincere appeal to anyone who's listening to me is, please reach out to your loved ones. Please spend time with them. Even if they are in isolation, please communicate with them. look after them. Don't just abandon them and, leave them to sort things out on their own. There is so much that you can contribute to their well-being by just being a friend on a phone, on a text message, whatever it is. We can beat COVID, but we have to do this only if you are on the same team. Please ensure that you are on the team that wins. Please ensure that you are helping everyone who is battling with this. Thank you, and I hope that you do not ever have to suffer from COVID. But if you do, don't lose heart. I've survived it. There are scores like me who have survived it. And if you put your mind to it, you can do it too.